What career is entirely useless? After 8 of the most grueling years of my life, I found out that my dream career was completely useless. I spent years learning different supplements, treatments, techniques, etc., just to find out that people in the dentistry field don't care if their patients get better. In fact, when I tried to do my job correctly, I was fired because I refused to trick my patients. I was recommended to treat simple solutions as if they needed thousands of dollars in repairs instead of just giving them some floss. I was even recommended to tell a child to use a high-tech mouthwash kit just because they had some food in between their teeth. If the patient isn't brushing properly, they'll tell you to buy an electric toothbrush that's not only overpriced but also gives them a commission. I've seen countless patients break into a cold sweat, just thinking of whether their insurance would cover the complicated treatment methods. I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't cause that feeling for my own patients despite my clinic's policies for typical treatments. Whenever my patients have an issue that their insurance can't cover, I recommend easy DIY solutions, especially like the one I'm going to reveal. A lot of problems like cavities, bad breath, and most gum diseases stem from one thing: an imbalanced pH level. This stems from the acids in your mouth and from the food you eat, resulting in odors forming from the pH level in your saliva dropping to a 5.5. The ideal pH level you want in your mouth is a 6.7. If your breath stinks, that's probably why. Snacking during the day is one of the top contributors to why a patient's pH level drops. If you're unsure whether your breath has an odor or not, lick your wrists, on the side where the skin is sensitive. Let it dry for a moment, and if the smell is bad, it's very likely that your pH level is imbalanced. A couple years ago, a patient with a severely imbalanced pH level came to me, and luckily I had the solution for them. The patient, a mother, came into my office with her toddler who refused to talk and holding his cheek in pain. After doing x-rays on him, we saw the beginnings of 7 cavities. Typically, you find a couple cavities on most patients, but this was a toddler whose adult teeth hadn't even come in and was developing cavities already at an early age. That's what we call dental caries. This kid was on the verge of gum disease at an early age, which is an ugly sight. When I see a child with teeth as bad as this, I morally have to assume that this child is in a dangerous situation at home. I sat down with his mother and asked why she waited so long to take him for an appointment, or if she was administering any oral care for him. She told me that it was only recently that her insurance approved her and covered this appointment. I told her, while I understood her position, that still didn't explain the condition her child's teeth were in. I remember watching her try to hold her composure in front of me. She told me in an effort to get him to enjoy solid foods, she started giving him lollipops and he developed a sweet tooth. It got so bad that he won't eat food unless it means he gets a lollipop afterwards. She was so afraid of her kid not eating that cavities didn't even cross her mind. My clinic's policy was to give her baby fillings for his cavities and inevitably causing her to spend thousands of dollars due to his obvious sweet tooth problem. But I could see that she just needed one person to give her a chance. I told her to come back next week and I'd have her treatment for free. I already knew what this baby needed. I went into my office and checked for some tooth cleaning lollipops. I luckily still had a whole bag left filled with multiple flavors of those lollipops that prevent cavities and clean teeth. They had the golden component erythritol, which is excellent for reducing acidity and, in turn, rebalances the oral pH level, stripping away the bacteria that infests your saliva. The best part is that this cleaning process only takes 10 minutes, and they taste amazing. I picked the bag, and when the next appointment rolled around, I gave it to the mother. I advised her to give these to her son after every meal instead of whatever candy she was using before. After a couple more checkups, her son's teeth were healing well and there weren't any more visible signs of tooth decay thanks to the tooth cleaning lollipops. We worked something out for him to get fluoride varnish in the future when his adult teeth grow in place. I also wrote her down a referral for a nutrition specialist and told her that I'd be in contact with her insurance very soon to make sure that her son could develop the eating habits he needed. I remember her not saying a word, just hugging me tightly and rocking for what felt like an eternity. After that incident, I ordered more of the tooth cleaning candy from their site and made personalized goodie bags for my patients. You'd be surprised how many patients come in with the same problem, and the tooth cleaning candy has been a success in treating each patient. My supervisor, however, started noticing a huge difference in the amount of appointments and referrals I've had for their fancy treatments. He came to me one day and demanded to know why I wasn't taking more patients, because I was below the quota of appointments. I told him the truth. I had more patients than ever. I was just helping them stay healthy than forcing them to spend all their money on their teeth. He gave me a huge lecture about how they need to fund their clinic and that these treatments are beneficial for our pockets, but I just told them that I made an oath to help people, not an oath to get rich. His face turned beet red and he fired me on the spot. Now I get severance pay and patients who tell me that they eat the lollipops months after our appointments because they know it keeps their mouths in good condition. 2. This day I've actually kept in contact with the mother, and I've seen her son grow up. Soon he's going to be starting middle school. He's been able to develop those better eating habits like we hoped, but he still loves to have one of those lollipops. So maybe some habits don't need to change.